One wrong turn across a state line with your legally owned firearm, and you're looking at felony charges even if you thought you were following federal law. Today I'm breaking down 10 deadly interstate gun transport mistakes that could get you arrested at state borders. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to transport your firearms legally across every state line without risking prison time or losing your gun rights forever. Just last month in October 2025, ICE agents arrested a father and son at the Texas border. 400 firearms seized, federal smuggling charges filed. In January 2025, 3 gun owners in New York faced federal trafficking felonies for mistakes they didn't even know were illegal. This is happening right now to law-abiding gun owners just like you. Let's make sure you're not next. Number 1. Trusting FOPA safe passage without understanding the loopholes. You've heard about the Firearm Owners Protection Act (FOPA), the federal law that's supposed to protect you when transporting guns across state lines. You think you're covered. You're not. Here's the scenario. You're driving from Pennsylvania to Florida with your unloaded handgun locked in your trunk. You stop overnight at a hotel in New Jersey. You think FOPA protects you because you're just passing through. Wrong. The moment you stop for the night, New Jersey law enforcement can arrest you. Under 18 U.S.C. Section 926A, FOPA only protects continuous and uninterrupted transport. The Third Circuit Court ruled in 2025 that hotel stays make your firearm readily accessible, and that voids your FOPA protection entirely. In New Jersey, unlicensed handgun possession carries 30 days to 5 years imprisonment and fines between $250 to $2,500 for first offenses. Repeat offenses, mandatory minimum sentences of 1 to 10 years that cannot be suspended. Even worse, New Jersey treats FOPA as an affirmative defense, meaning you can be arrested first, then argue your case in court after spending thousands on legal fees. Here's what you must do. Plan your route to avoid overnight stops in restrictive states like New Jersey, New York, Maryland, and Connecticut. If you absolutely must stop, keep your firearm unloaded, locked in a hard-sided case, stored in your trunk or rear cargo area, never in your hotel room. Better yet, drive straight through or stop only in states with reciprocity for your permits. But even if you follow FOPA perfectly, this next mistake at airports has landed dozens of gun owners in handcuffs in 2025 alone. Number 2. Declaring your firearm at the airport, then getting arrested anyway. You're doing everything by the book. You declare your firearm to the airline, it's unloaded, locked in a hard-sided case, stored in checked baggage. TSA approves it. Then you land in New York or New Jersey and you're arrested. This is the nightmare scenario that keeps happening at Newark, LaGuardia, and JFK airports. Federal law requires you to declare firearms when flying, but New York and New Jersey state laws require separate permits to even possess a handgun, and they don't care that you followed federal TSA rules. In January 2025, a Virginia Beach woman was detained at Norfolk International Airport after TSA found her declared locked handgun. Case referred for prosecution. In 2024 to 2025, multiple gun owners flying through New York airports were arrested despite full TSA compliance because they lacked New York pistol permits. In New York, second-degree possession of an illegal handgun carries 5 to 10 years imprisonment. In New Jersey, you're looking at 30 days to 5 years plus fines up to $2,500 even if your firearm never left the airport. These are felony charges that destroy your career, your gun rights, and your freedom. Never fly into or connect through New York or New Jersey airports with firearms unless you have valid permits for those states. If you must fly through these states, research whether your destination state has reciprocity, obtain necessary permits in advance, or ship your firearms through an FFL dealer instead. Document everything. Keep copies of your permits, TSA declarations, and locked case photos. Airport arrests are devastating, but this next mistake happens during routine traffic stops, and it's even more common. Number 3. Assuming your concealed carry permit works everywhere. You have a valid concealed carry permit from your home state. You're driving across the country. You think you're legal. You're about to commit a felony in at least 14 states. Here's what happens. You're driving from Texas to visit family in California. Your Texas license to carry is valid. You cross into California with your concealed handgun. You get pulled over for speeding. The officer asks if you have weapons. You proudly show your Texas permit. You're arrested on the spot. California does not recognize out-of-state concealed carry permits, period. Neither do Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Washington, or the District of Columbia. In November 2025, Oregon arrested 2 men for interstate gun violations. Carrying without valid Oregon permits was part of the charges. In California, carrying a concealed firearm without a valid California permit is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in county jail and fines up to $1,000. With aggravating factors prior convictions, gang ties, stolen firearms, it becomes a felony carrying 16 months to 3 years in state prison and fines up to $10,000. You lose your gun rights. Your career ends. Your family suffers. Before crossing any state line, check reciprocity maps on your state's Attorney General website or use the USCCA reciprocity tool. If a state doesn't recognize your permit, transport your firearm unloaded and locked in your trunk under FOPA safe passage rules, never concealed on your person. Consider obtaining non-resident permits from states with broad reciprocity like Florida, Utah, or Arizona to maximize your coverage. Permit reciprocity is critical, but even if you're not carrying concealed, this next mistake with magazines will get you arrested in 14 states. Number 4. Transporting high-capacity magazines across state lines. Your rifle came with a standard 30-round magazine. It's legal in your home state. You drive to visit family in another state. You just committed a felony and you don't even know it. 14 states and the District of Columbia ban magazines over 10 rounds. Some set the limit at 15 rounds. These states include California, Colorado, Connecticut, D.C., Hawaii, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Washington. In October 2025, a man was arrested near a Trump rally in Coachella Valley, California, for possessing a loaded firearm with a high-capacity magazine. In March 2025, the Ninth Circuit upheld California's large-capacity magazine ban under Penal Code Section 32310. Criminal penalties include jail time, no exceptions for previously owned magazines. In California, possession of high-capacity magazines is a criminal offense with jail time and fines. In Connecticut, it's a Class D felony. In New Jersey, you face 30 days to 5 years imprisonment plus fines. In New York, possession of large-capacity magazines is a felony charge even if the magazine is empty and stored separately from your firearm. These convictions destroy your Second Amendment rights permanently. Before traveling, research magazine capacity limits in every state you'll pass through. Purchase 10-round magazines for travel if you're crossing restrictive states. If you must transport standard capacity magazines, disassemble them and store components separately, though this may not protect you in all jurisdictions. Safest option: leave high-capacity magazines at home and use compliant magazines in restrictive states. Magazine laws are a minefield, but this next mistake with loaded firearms in your vehicle is even more dangerous because it varies wildly by state. Number 5. Keeping a loaded firearm in your vehicle. You keep your handgun loaded in your center console for self-defense. It's legal in your home state. You cross into the next state. You're now committing a crime that could cost you a year in jail. State laws on loaded firearms in vehicles vary dramatically. In Texas, you can carry a loaded handgun in your vehicle without a permit. Drive into California with that same loaded handgun, you've committed a misdemeanor or felony depending on circumstances. California Penal Code prohibits transporting loaded firearms in vehicles. Maryland requires firearms to be unloaded and stored in the trunk or a locked container. Massachusetts requires firearms to be unloaded and locked. In November 2025, a traffic stop in Pasadena, Maryland led to the arrest of 2 individuals after police found a loaded handgun in their vehicle. In California, transporting a loaded firearm in a vehicle is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in county jail and fines up to $1,000. With aggravating factors prior felony convictions, stolen firearms, gang participation, it escalates to a felony carrying 16 months to 3 years in state prison and fines up to $10,000. In Maryland, unlicensed handgun violations carry 30 days to 5 years imprisonment and fines between $250 to $2,500. Before crossing state lines, unload your firearm completely, remove the magazine, clear the chamber, and visually inspect to confirm it's empty. Store ammunition separately from the firearm, ideally in a different container. Lock your unloaded firearm in a hard-sided case and place it in your trunk or rear cargo area where it's not readily accessible. Keep documentation of your compliance photos, timestamps, receipts for locking cases. Loaded firearms are a trap, but this next mistake with assault weapons will land you in prison for up to 8 years in states like California and New York. Number 6. Transporting assault weapons without registration. You own an AR-15. It's legal in your home state. You drive to California or New York for a competition or family visit. You just committed a felony punishable by up to 8 years in state prison. California and New York have strict assault weapon bans and registration requirements. In California, assault weapons must be registered with the DOJ. In New York, assault weapons are banned entirely unless grandfathered and registered under the SAFE Act. Here's what happens. You're driving from Arizona to California with your AR-15 for a shooting competition. You think FOPA protects you. California Highway Patrol pulls you over. They search your vehicle. They find your unregistered AR-15. You're arrested immediately. In March 2025, California's assault weapon laws were upheld by federal courts. Possession of unregistered assault weapons carries severe criminal penalties. New York's SAFE Act requires registration of all assault weapons. Failure to register is a felony. In California, possession of an unregistered assault weapon is a felony punishable by 16 months to 3 years in state prison. In New York, criminal possession of a weapon in the third degree, which includes unregistered assault weapons, is a Class D felony carrying up to 7 years imprisonment. These are career-ending, life-ruining convictions that strip your Second Amendment rights permanently and destroy your reputation. Never transport assault weapons into California, New York, Connecticut, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, or Hawaii unless you've verified registration requirements and obtained necessary permits. For competitions, ship your firearms through an FFL dealer to the event location. If you must drive through these states, ensure your route qualifies for FOPA protection. No stops, unloaded, locked, inaccessible, and document everything with timestamps and photos. Assault weapon laws are unforgiving, but this next mistake with ammunition could get you arrested even if your firearm is completely legal. Number 7. Transporting prohibited ammunition types. You bought hollow point ammunition for self-defense. It's legal in 48 states. You drive into New Jersey. You're now facing felony charges for possessing armor-piercing ammunition even though it's not. New Jersey bans hollow point ammunition except in limited circumstances: home use, traveling to and from shooting ranges, hunting. If you're caught with hollow points during a traffic stop while passing through New Jersey, you can be arrested. California bans armor-piercing ammunition. Massachusetts restricts certain ammunition types. In October 2024, a Massachusetts man was arrested for possessing an illegal large-capacity feeding device and ammunition charges that carried serious penalties. Here's the nightmare. You're driving from Pennsylvania to Florida with 500 rounds of hollow point ammunition for a training course. You stop for gas in New Jersey. The state trooper asks about weapons. You admit you have ammunition. You're arrested for possessing prohibited ammunition. In New Jersey, possession of hollow point ammunition outside permitted circumstances is a fourth-degree crime punishable by up to 18 months imprisonment and fines up to $10,000. In California, possession of armor-piercing ammunition is a felony. In Massachusetts, ammunition violations carry jail time and fines. These convictions create permanent criminal records that destroy employment opportunities and gun ownership rights. Research ammunition restrictions in every state along your route. Avoid transporting hollow point ammunition through New Jersey unless you're going directly to a shooting range with documentation. In California, only transport ammunition that complies with state definitions. Avoid anything that could be construed as armor-piercing. Store ammunition in original packaging with receipts to prove lawful purchase. Better yet, purchase ammunition at your destination to avoid transport violations entirely. Ammunition laws are a hidden trap, but this next mistake happens when you think you're being helpful to law enforcement, and it destroys your legal defense. Number 8. Volunteering too much information during traffic stops. You get pulled over. The officer asks if you have weapons. You want to be cooperative, so you explain everything: where you're going, why you have firearms, what permits you have. You just gave prosecutors everything they needed to convict you. Here's the scenario. You're driving through Maryland with your firearms locked in the trunk, unloaded, following FOPA rules. The officer asks about weapons. You say, "Yes, sir. I have 3 handguns, 2 rifles, and 1,000 rounds of ammunition. I'm driving from Virginia to Pennsylvania for a shooting competition." The officer asks more questions. questions. You explain your route, your stops, your hotel reservation. You mention you stopped for lunch 2 hours ago. You just admitted you made an unnecessary deviation from your route, which voids FOPA protection in some jurisdictions. You're arrested. In November 2025, 2 men were arrested in Oregon after a traffic stop revealed interstate gun transport violations. What you say during traffic stops becomes evidence used against you in court. Anything you say to law enforcement can be used against you. Admitting to stops, detours, or overnight stays can void FOPA protection. Describing your firearms in detail helps prosecutors build charges. Explaining your lack of knowledge about state laws doesn't protect you. Ignorance is not a defense. You could face felony charges, years in prison, and permanent loss of gun rights because you talk too much trying to be cooperative. During traffic stops in states with strict gun laws, provide only required information: license, registration, insurance. If asked about weapons, you must disclose in states with duty to inform laws, but keep it brief. I have a firearm secured in my trunk. Do not elaborate on quantity, type, ammunition, or travel plans. Politely decline to answer further questions. I'd prefer not to answer without my attorney present. Never consent to. Vehicle searches make officers obtain warrants. Document everything. Record interactions if legal in your state. Note officer names and badge numbers. Talking too much destroys your legal defense, but this next mistake with gun-free school zones will get you arrested even if you're just driving past a school. Number 9. Violating gun-free school zone laws. You're driving through a residential neighborhood with your concealed carry firearm. You don't see any signs. You don't know there's an elementary school 2 blocks away. You just violated federal law and you're facing 5 years in federal prison. The Gun-Free School Zones Act 18 U.S.C. Section 922Q makes it a federal crime to possess a firearm within 1,000 feet of any school grounds. That's over 3 football fields. Most gun owners have no idea this law exists or how far 1,000 feet extends. Here's what happens. You're driving to work with your concealed carry firearm. Your route takes you past a school. You're pulled over for a broken taillight. The officer discovers your firearm. You're within 1,000 feet of school property. You're arrested for violating federal gun-free school zone laws. There are exceptions. Valid state-issued carry permits provide some protection. Unloaded firearms in locked containers may be exempt, but many gun owners don't understand these nuances. In urban areas, it's nearly impossible to travel without passing within 1,000 feet of a school. Federal conviction under the Gun-Free School Zones Act carries up to 5 years imprisonment and fines. This is a federal felony that permanently prohibits you from owning firearms under 18 U.S.C. Section 922 grams. You lose your Second Amendment rights forever. Your career ends. Background checks reveal federal felony convictions. Employment opportunities disappear. Your family suffers financially and emotionally. Obtain a valid state-issued concealed carry permit. This provides an exception to federal gun-free school zone laws in most cases. When transporting firearms without a carry permit, ensure they're unloaded and locked in containers not readily accessible. Use GPS apps to identify schools along your route and plan alternate paths when possible. In states where you lack carry permits, transport firearms under FOPA rules unloaded, locked, trunk, storage to minimize legal risk. School zone laws are a federal trap most gun owners don't even know exists, but this final mistake is the most common and the most devastating. Number 10. Failing to research state laws before you travel. You assume gun laws are similar across states. You think federal law protects you. You believe your permit covers everything. You're wrong, and this mistake has destroyed more gun owners' lives than any other on this list. Every state has different laws on concealed carry, open carry, magazine capacity, assault weapons, ammunition types, vehicle transport, duty to inform, and more. What's legal in Texas is a felony in California. What's legal in Florida will get you arrested in New York. In January 2025, ICE arrested a father and son at the Texas border. 400 firearms seized. Federal smuggling charges filed. In November 2025, Oregon arrested 2 men for interstate gun violations. In October 2025, a man was arrested in California for possessing high-capacity magazines at a Trump rally. In March 2025, a Massachusetts man faced charges for illegal ammunition possession. Every single one of these cases involved gun owners who failed to research state laws before traveling. They assumed their actions were legal. They were wrong. they're now facing years in prison, hundreds of thousands in legal fees, and permanent loss of gun rights. Ignorance of the law is not a defense. Courts don't care that you didn't know. Prosecutors don't care that you thought you were legal. You'll face felony charges, prison time, massive fines, and permanent criminal records. Your Second Amendment rights disappear forever. Your career ends. Your family loses income. Your reputation is destroyed, all because you didn't spend 30 minutes researching state laws before your trip. Before every trip across state lines, research gun laws for every state you'll travel through, not just your destination. Use resources like the USCCA Reciprocity Map, your state attorney general's website, and handgunlaw.us. Check permit reciprocity, magazine capacity limits, assault weapon bans, ammunition restrictions, and vehicle transport rules. Print documentation of your research and carry it with you. When in doubt, transport firearms unloaded and locked under FOPA rules. Better yet, ship firearms through FFL dealers to avoid transport violations entirely. These 10 mistakes have destroyed countless gun owners' lives, but you don't have to be next. Let's recap the 10 interstate gun transport mistakes that could land you in prison. Mistake number 1. Trusting FOPA safe passage. Without understanding loopholes, overnight stops void your protection, leading to arrests in restrictive states. Mistake number 2. Declaring firearms at airports, then getting arrested. New York and New Jersey arrest you despite TSA compliance. Mistake number 3. Assuming your concealed carry permit works everywhere. 14 states don't recognize out-of-state permits, resulting in felony charges. Mistake number 4. Transporting high-capacity magazines. 14 states ban magazines over 10 rounds with jail time for violations. Mistake number 5. Keeping loaded firearms in your vehicle. State laws vary wildly, turning legal carry into criminal offenses. Mistake number 6. Transporting assault weapons without registration, up to 8 years in prison in California and New York. Mistake number 7. Transporting prohibited ammunition, hollow points, and armor-piercing rounds carry, felony charges in multiple states. Mistake number 8. Volunteering too much information during traffic stops. Your words become evidence used to convict you. Mistake number 9. Violating gun-free school zone laws, 5 years federal prison for possessing firearms within 1,000 feet of schools. Mistake number 10. Failing to research state laws before you travel, the most common mistake that destroys gun owners' lives every single day. Any one of these mistakes could cost you $50,000 in legal fees, 5 to 10 years in prison, and your right to own guns forever. In 2025 alone, hundreds of law-abiding gun owners have been arrested at state borders for violations they didn't even know existed. Don't let confusion about interstate gun laws destroy your freedom, your family, and your future. Don't let ignorance of gun laws put you at risk. Subscribe to Guns Law Guide right now, so you never miss an update that could keep you legal and protected. I break down complex federal and state gun laws every single week, so you can transport your firearms with confidence and avoid the mistakes that send gun owners to prison. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your freedom depends on it. Next week, I'm covering the 9 gun purchasing mistakes that cost first-time buyers their freedom, including the one legal error that cost a gun owner $2.3 million in a civil lawsuit, even though he was never charged with a FRIDA crime. You won't want to miss it. Stay legal, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.